Hi, I'm Joshua Aaron, and you're at Popularity.
Can you describe how you approach your music?
It depends. A lot of times I'll just get an idea, and it'll just, a melody will come to me or something, and, maybe I'll get a rough sketch down, and then as time goes on, I'll sort of refine it and go back and re-listen and work for a while on each individual part of the creation to make sure all the sonics are correct and everything sort of blends together, but it keeps it interesting at the same time. I don't like stuff that just drags on for the sake of dragging on.
What would you say are some of the key challenges that you face during your creative process?
Well, producing yourself is probably one of the hardest things you can do. Being objective on stuff that, if you get an idea and it comes to you and it's really fun at the time, you may put it down and go, wow, this is, not good. Or you might go, wow, this could really have potential. My wife is actually a really good radar for that. She comes in and she'll take a listen, and she's very honest. So she'll either say, yes, this is fantastic, definitely, keep working on this one, or say, nah, I'm not really hearing this one. And, just kind of go from there and see how it progresses.
What would you say is one of the biggest things that you've learned about yourself throughout the creation of the album?
Oh, that I am a very, very anal retentive guy. I go through every little minute detail and just not satisfied ever, really. Until the end of it, I'm always just going back and refining. And even still, as much as I'm in love with, the way this new record sounds, I still hear things on it that I go, oh man, I could have done that, or I should have done that. But I know at some point you just have to push your children out to the world.
What would you say was the highest high and the lowest low during the creation?
Well, let's see. The highest high was just probably writing each song as the songs come to you. I'm always really energized when things are coming together, and that happened multiple times. I think it's always a very similar kind of experience as you write a song and you hear it back and everything's going really well. Certainly the mix process was a very cool thing to really hear them all come out. The lowest low, they don't really have a whole lot of lows in this record, but maybe just, I wrote a bunch of songs and trying to pick those 12 that were the strongest to really move forward with, and having to say, I worked really hard on these, but they're just not good enough, and they need to go on the back burner.
Were there any songs that surprised you by taking a different direction than you initially envisioned?
Why, yes, there were. Breathe Out, our single, went through probably something like 8 or 9 different incarnations before it was actually done, and I listened back to the original versions of them, and it's very, very weird because the lyrics might be the same, or a little bit of the melody might be there, but it's just a completely different vibe.
Speaking of Breathe Out, I wanted to throw out a couple song titles and get your initial thoughts. That was one of the songs I had down. So what about Can't See You?
Well, this was a 4-year process, so I don't really have all the recollections of it. I know that specifically in Can't See You, I do remember one thing where I was trying to write some of the lyrics or rewrite some of the lyrics, and my wife had gone out with the girls that night, and so instead of just maybe just watching TV or something, and she'll be back in a little while, I sort of forced myself to be in the mindset of she's left and she's never coming back, so what would that feel like? So that would be a good Can't See You one.
Do you find that when you perform songs that they evolve and just grow?
Absolutely. I'm a big believer in the music needs to take you where it's going to go. If you try to force a song, or at least if I try to force a song, it does not work. I can try to make it do something, but it will tell me how it needs to be.
What emotion do you wish most to evoke from fans when they hear your music?
I don't want to give a specific emotion, if you don't mind. I would say that every fan is going to connect with the songs in a different way because they're at a different point in their lives, and they'll all have experienced different things, and I think each one is going to be touched in a different way.
Can you describe your attraction to music?
Let's see. Describe your attraction to music. Just everything about it. I guess the way that, I mean, going back to emotion, I guess is the only word to use, the way it can pull you to jump up and down, and it can drag you down to tears just from listening to a song and the images that it creates in your head and the way that the melodies and the tempos and all the different instrumentations move you. And this can be something as simple as an acoustic guitar and a vocal, or it can be a full band performance. But I love the way that every song can touch somebody in a different way.
At this point, what are your hopes for your music, and what do you fear most?
Well, I mean, I hope that we have even more success than we've already had. We're doing very well so far, and I couldn't be happier with the success of this new record. So I can only hope that we, keep going. I think, as far as biggest fear, I try not to have too many fears, but I would say that, I hope that the next record can be as good as this record is, or better.
Do you have any final thoughts or anything that you'd like to say to the Readers of Popularity?
Just that we hope you enjoy the music, and I guess, listening, and we'll keep making it.